Now let's switch stories to Twitter, and you are very good on Twitter. You got some 450,000 followers. What have you made of the Elon Musk takeover? What he's revealed so far has been quite astonishing about how Twitter operated previously, how conservatives were suppressed and shadow banned on the platform. Has any of these revelations taken you by surprise, and have you noticed a difference on the platform since he took over?
A little bit. You know, the little COVID warnings have finally stopped on people's posts on Twitter, at least not on Instagram or Facebook though. But it's really interesting reading that the FBI and these kind of departments in the US had a direct line to Twitter to take down people's posts, as far as taking down satire and people making fun of maybe a COVID rule or a mandate or what the government did or what Biden did or what Trump did. Things were getting taken down left, right and center. And I think that's happening in Australia. I think it's happening in New Zealand, obviously. This side of the world, it's the same thing. You'd be silly to think that it's not. The governments have direct line to social media, and that's a very scary thing when people can get their views removed. Now, unless you're promoting violence or using blatant racism, sexism, then you deserve your medicine, in my opinion. But if you're just putting an opinion out like, hey, I disagree with the government on this, or these mandates are crazy, or I don't agree with this, and you're getting shadow banned or basically deleted, that's very, very concerning and very Orwellian, as they'd say in 1984.
Absolutely. And we're going to be talking to the panel after the break about Karen Phelps coming out and saying that she has suffered an injury after the COVID vaccine. And that was something that was almost taboo. You could not talk about that. You could not report about that. But now we've got a former AMA president, someone who's very pro-COVID vaccine, but is talking about her own experience. And a few others have come forward as well, high-profile people. But before I let you go, I want to just bring to your attention this Stanford University list of forbidden words. And included on that list is the word American. You can't call yourself American. You have to be calling yourself a US citizen. Immigrant is also out. You have to be a person who immigrated instead. I mean, this change in language and these requirements on language, what do you make of that? Is it just to be more inclusive, or is it, I don't know, almost forcing people to submit to an ideology?
Well, it's the latter. We've seen it in universities becoming more and more prevalent. We've seen it during COVID. The way you acted was your team A or team B or team C. And this is the generation of words of violence, right? Where, it just boggles my mind. And for me, my self-identity is what I think it is, right? Like, so I'm Croatian background, I'm a proud Australian, I'm proud of my roots. If someone says otherwise, I don't care. Like, it's like, I'm going to call myself what I want to call myself. I'm going to call myself an Australian born with Croatian blood. And if someone's got a problem with that, I don't care. That's kind of how I see myself. And for them to be dictating, especially universities, it's just absolutely crazy. And nothing's going to change. I mean, the universities over there, I went to university over there for 2 years, went to the University of Utah. I didn't notice a lot of this. I wasn't very political early on in my life, especially in my 20s, but it seems every university's gone the same tact. It's like, the protests are all about the same thing. They're all in sync, every single one of them. And it's quite scary, because you're going to have a whole generation, whatever side politically they are, I couldn't care. As long as there's a balance, you need a balance. And in universities, it doesn't seem like there's a balance. It seems like it's all leaning one way with whatever the mainstream narrative is. That's scary, because those people are eventually going to be 25, 30, 35, 40 going into the workforce. And it's no surprise that we see this corporate kind of woke agenda with all these policies about what you can and can't say, and pronouns and this and that, and everyone getting offended. You can get fired for the smallest thing. I don't think that's sustainable. And unfortunately, I think the pendulum is going to swing probably too far the other way eventually, which you don't want neither. I think you need a balance, and the world right now is not balanced. It's probably the furthest from being balanced it's been in a long time.